myself. My nail's stuck in. It's ironic because I'm doing a video about anxiety and I'm getting anxious about it. Yay. I'm gonna have to crop so much of this. Peace out, kids. My name's Alicia. I'm here to talk about anxiety. Most people don't really know what anxiety actually is, and people are going to just dismiss it as like being nervous or shy or whatever. But anxiety is a mental disorder. It's usually like labelled as an anxiety disorder, and there's like social anxiety, but the main one is like anxiety disorder. It's basically just worrying, but more than usual worrying. People without anxiety would say like, oh, I'm worried about this test, and they would get worried about it, and once it's over they kind of just wouldn't really, you know, maybe worry about the results, but not like, it's not a big deal. It's kind of just like a mini little hurdle for them to get over in life, and they just deal with it. But people with anxiety, if they had a test coming up, they might have a panic attack, they might stress about it so much that they can't sleep, or stress about it so much that when they're trying to study for this test that they can't physically study because all they can think of is, I'm gonna fail, this test is gonna be so bad, what if this happens, what if that happens? And anxiety is a lot of like what ifs. You're always wondering what's gonna happen next, like what if this happens, what if that happens? I'm constantly worrying that something absolutely like atrocious is gonna happen, and it doesn't. I've done all my exams now, but when I was in the exam, sometimes I couldn't concentrate on what was actually going on in the test. I was worrying about how I looked when I walked into the hall. I don't know if anyone else has done exams on here, but when you walk in, I get so nervous because I feel like everyone's watching me, and that's my anxiety. Obviously no one's watching me, everyone's just worried about how they're gonna be, because obviously exams are big. I just worry about all these little things, and I know in my head that they're not true, but there's like the anxiety part of my head is just like, what if it is true? And it's really annoying because I just want to get on with my life, and I can't because there's this little voice in my head telling me, you can't do this because there are going to be people there, or you can't do that because this person's there, or you can't do this because they're all going to be looking at you, and stuff like that. And it's just, it's horrible. But anxiety is basically just fear and worry, but it's a lot of fear and worry, and so much that you just can't concentrate on anything else, and you get panic attacks. You get panic attacks. It's really hard to explain because it can be kind of different for each person, but when I get a panic attack, I feel my heart beating really fast. Like I can kind of feel it now. I'm not having a panic attack, but I'm very nervous. Even though it's just talking in front of a camera, I know that people are going to see this video. It just makes me nervous about how people are going to think of me, because obviously it's different when you're behind a screen and no one really hears your voice or hears your personality. Like you can't show your personality over Instagram or anything, but obviously on this you can see what I'm like, you can see what my hands do all the time. I kind of want to show my nails off, but I just realized I'm not looking at the camera, I'm looking at myself. Look at the camera now. So when I have a panic attack, my heart beats, I can feel my heart beating really fast. It's hard to breathe, like it gets hard to breathe for me. I can't breathe properly. Adrenaline is pumping around your body. I think how it like scientifically works, I think that's just like too much adrenaline pumping around your body. It feels like I've just gone for like a run or something, or just done a sprint. That's what a panic attack feels like. It feels like you just can't breathe. Like when you've done exercise, you just can't breathe. You have to just sit there for a while, just go. That's what you have to do in order to like deal with a panic attack. You have to take deep breaths and just tell yourself in your head that everything's gonna be okay, and it will be okay once you start breathing again. Obviously the anxiety part of your head is like, no, it's not gonna be okay, we need to panic over this. That's basically what a panic attack is. Like that's the best way for me to explain it. That's just my personal experience. Panic attacks don't always have a reason behind them. you can have a panic attack because you're about to have a test. Like I did once, I had a panic attack while I was sitting in the bath, and I was relaxing in the bath, listening to music, and I was just sat there like my heart was beating really fast and I just couldn't breathe. And I thought maybe it's just the hot water, I just can't breathe. But it was really weird for me because I was starting to get anxious because of the fact that I was having a panic attack for no reason. I didn't really know if it was a panic attack because it felt different. It was like a really strong, I couldn't breathe. Was hyperventilating. I was like, the air wasn't going in. I couldn't breathe like at all. It wasn't like usual where I could actually breathe. It felt like I was gonna die because it was so intense. And I remember I was all lightheaded, and this whole part of my mouth and my nose were just buzzing, like vibrating. And I remember this is the aftermath of a aftermath of a panic attack. Is especially if you have like one you haven't really experienced before, it's your first time, you get worried about that, which is like the worst part because you end up researching the NHS website. You just worry so much about something that's kind of normal, but it's not at the same time. Don't spray. After I had that, I remember I was in one of my lessons at school. I would just not stop searching the NHS website. If my symptoms matched up with this, if I had cancer or something. I didn't have cancer. And there was this one, I think it was like low blood sugar or low blood pressure or something, and it matched up with those symptoms that I had. I was like, oh god, what if I have this? But then I was like, okay, let's just have a quick check. Let's just look on anxiety, see if I can find any like more intense symptoms of a panic attack. I looked on the website and I saw the symptom of the fuzzing of my mouth, which the low blood pressure one didn't have, which made me think, oh, probably was a panic attack. But the voice in the back of my head was like, no, it wasn't a panic attack. It was this low blood pressure thing, and you have to be careful and not do this and not do that. That whole lesson, I didn't do any work. I just researched that when I knew I should have been doing work. That's what it does. It just makes you worry so much that you can't concentrate on anything else. It's so annoying. I have to deal with it. Slap myself out. Coping mechanisms, I don't have any. So the bad coping mechanisms and there's good ones. So the good ones are like breathing and telling yourself it's going to be okay when you're having a panic attack, and when you're in a situation where you know you could have a panic attack or you just get really anxious, is to just keep telling yourself that there's no reason to get anxious because you're safe, you're fine. And maybe there is a situation where you don't feel safe, and the best thing to do is to just remove yourself from that situation as quickly as possible. It doesn't help. It's the best advice I can give. Something that does help my anxiety is, for example, with job interviews, going out places and things like that, is to just do the things instead of dwell over it and think, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. Instead of thinking I can't do this, just do it. Because once you've done it, you'll feel so much, you'll feel proud of yourself for doing it and overcoming the anxiety. You'll also feel like you can do it again, which really helps. If you get scared about a job interview, like moi, don't do a me and actually just go to it and don't not fill in the job application, which is something I did. Make sure you do the things you're scared about, unless there's an actual risk to them. You can do it and you shouldn't let your anxiety stop you. People cover up very easily. Like, I've been told that I don't seem like I have anxiety, but I do. Terrified of everything. But anyway, bad coping mechanisms. Staying in the house all day and not doing anything because you're scared to go out. That's me. That's another one. That's what I do. Don't do that. I'm so hypocritical because I'm like, don't do what I do. Do this stuff. Don't stop yourself from doing things that you want to do. Especially don't stop yourself from going outside because you need that fresh air. You need that vitamin D, and if you don't get that vitamin D, you're going to become ill. I think it's rickets, or is that vitamin B? Vitamin B. Just don't stop yourself from doing things that you want to do because of your anxiety, because anxiety is just this little part of yourself that's just scared of everything. It's just like, stop being such a pussy. That's what you should be saying to yourself. I know that's really harsh, but just think, why am I thinking that? There's actually nothing wrong with going outside. Even if it's just like on a walk or something, try to overcome it. Here's a bad coping mechanism: not meeting anyone because you're scared you're going to burden them with your anxiety, or you're scared that they'll judge you, or you'll embarrass yourself and they'll judge you for that, or anything like that. They're not going to judge you. Most people, when meeting new people, are pretty scared themselves. Meet them. If you want to meet this new person, meet them. Don't think about it too much. Just go for it, and the conversation will flow. You can trust me on this one. The conversation will just flow. You'll probably get on really well. If you don't get on really well, then fuck them. Don't fuck them. I mean, like, if they do judge you, you can let them know that you're nervous. They might interpret your anxiety for something else. If you're being like really quiet, they may think, why is she being quiet, or why is he being quiet? I can't remember what I was gonna say. I hate myself because I always forget what I say halfway through I'm saying it. It's so annoying. If they're judging you then, and they understand that you have anxiety, and they're not worth, the effort anymore. Leave, because anyone who's going to judge you for a mental illness / disorder isn't worth your time at all. People just make it up when they say that they have anxiety. They're like, oh, that's not a real problem, you're just nervous, you're just shy, get over it. It's not like that. It's not something you can just get over. It's something I kind of have to deal with for your whole life, and it's hard to deal with. Obviously I'm only 16, but anyone who's like lived their whole life dealing with anxiety, big ups to you, because that's a big thing to do. Obviously I'm gonna have to do that myself. I'm gonna have to deal with anxiety myself for my whole life. Words. You can get through it. There are people out there who have got through it. You could be cool if you can like overcome it. That's cool. Patches are just in the corner. I hope me talking about it and rambling on and all the editing I'm going to do after this really helped. Oh my god, you can see my hands up close. You can do this. Anyone with anxiety, you can do this. And if you have a friend who has anxiety, help them. Please. We want your help. We may isolate ourselves sometimes, and we may be scared to see you sometimes, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see you. We're just fucking terrified to leave our house. Please help us. Please give us a hug. We need that. We like feeling safe. I think I'm done.